I wanted to write all this out because I feel like I don't know what you're going to do with this because I feel like it's just a passionate rant. But so anyway, the story goes like this is about my friend who was also my like best friend in college. Like we were roommates together, studied, we were in the same major, so we were in a lot of the same classes. So like going back to like all the earlier days of my bodybuilding career, like he was one of the most supportive people in my life at that time. Like he was actually filming a lot of the footage that you have right now that you see. Of course, we both, when we graduated, we went our separate ways. But, you know, after several years, we both started doing our own thing. Like he started to day trade, doing his career. I was in mine. Fast forward several years, he's been at this thing forever, right? And he's getting so good. He's like mastering this craft of like day trading. And so he got really, really good at it, which is great on one sense. But over the years, I just kept like not seeing my friend because he was just so busy with everything he was doing. Like life got in the way. And what happened was like many times we would make a plan to hang out and he would just like cancel last minute. Something would come up. By the way, that's part of his personality. Like he was like one of those people even in college where I'd be like, yo bro, we're gonna hit the gym at 5:30 tomorrow morning, and like I wake up, I'm ready to go, and this fucker's still asleep. Like so he's like, this is his like nature. Like he's like, oh bro, I'm too tired, you go. You know, so like, and now like, you know, all these years later, I would just kind of started festering in this over and over again. And every time I felt like I was getting burnt in this relationship that I had with him, it started to feel really one-sided. It's like we've had this really strong friendship from the beginning, and over the years it's just like gone to shit basically. Like at one level, like he's one of my oldest friends. Like we've known each other, we lived together, we had such a strong bond, and I still feel a lot of love for him, but I'm so tired of getting hurt every time I make some effort to like be his friend, and he just kind of fucks me over. Obviously anybody in their rational mind would be like, bro, fuck this person, cut him out. This is not the friend you keep. Like this is no longer your friend because you don't have that same relationship. Yeah, maybe you have a different evolved relationship where it's not going to be the same as it used to be. So I had to kind of really come to terms with it. It was like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to have the same relationship I used to have with this guy. His life is much different than mine now. And so is mine. I mean, I have a kid, I have a whole bunch of responsibility, and I have a different lifestyle now too. We don't live like right next to each other or anything. Fast forward to like Saturday morning, and I saw that he was in San Diego, and this fuckface hadn't hit me up. I'm like, yo, bro, what the fuck? He's in San Diego, he's partying, and he hasn't even hit me up. Like, this is just fucking bullshit. I was fuming, bro. I was so pissed. I don't know what to tell you. I was on the cardio, I was doing treadmill, and I was just pissed as fuck, just trying to like process all this, but I'm still at the same time like, this is so fucking dumb. Why am I still fuming about this? I've been trying to let go of this. And I just said at that time, I was like, yo, this is the final straw. Like, this is it. This just proves that everything that I've been talking to Mimi about, and I've been thinking about like cutting this guy out as like my close friend because he's not that anymore. This is it. Like, he obviously doesn't think of you that way. So why should you continue to reciprocate that side of your relationship? He's not doing that. But again, no bad intent, but it's like, okay, we just aren't like that. We ain't close like that. So we're done. And I did like the childish thing. I unfollowed him on Instagram. I deleted my message thread with him. I didn't block him or anything, but I'm like, yo, if he wants to reach out and like whatever, I'm still cool. But obviously I'm never going to think of him now as like somebody that I can call upon to like hang out and be my friend like in time of need and things like that. I'm done with him. And I do that, and then I go about my day. We're sitting, Mimi and I yesterday, finally that the sun came out for a little bit, we're sitting in Mission Bay. We're like hanging out in the grass with our kid. We're having a little picnic, eating lunch, you know, and I popped the edible in just because, you know, it's Saturday and I'm like relaxing and all. So I'm sitting there, you know, starting to get a little high and shit. And I'm like, all of a sudden I get a text from him. Hey bro, I'm in town. Are you available? I'm like, this motherfucker. So I get dropped off and I hang out with him, and, you know, I wait, or rather I wait for him, and then he's like walking over, and I'm just like standing there. I'm getting a little high because I take my edible, and I'm just like really emotional. I'm like, how's this gonna go? Like, I'm really nervous about this. I'm like, why are you fucking nervous? This is your friend. Like, what is this bullshit? But you have to realize, like, in my head, I've had all this nonsense just like fucking rattling around, you know, emotionally about this person. So I've got a lot to process, and it's a rightful feeling because I've been feeling like this over and over again, and I haven't been able to deal with it, and I can't even really talk to him about it because from his perspective, he doesn't see this side of me, like the struggle that I feel and the suffering that I feel from him being a shitty friend in a sense, right? So anyway, I'm looking at the ocean and I'm like staring out, and I hear, you know, I hear somebody walking up, and he's like, what's up, asshole? You know, that's how he used to call me in college too. And I used to always call him, you know, I said, what's up, pussy? Like, that's how we would always talk. It's really bad, but that's how we used to talk to each other. But, you know, I saw him and I just immediately, like, just none of that mattered. Like, all that shit that I felt, it just didn't matter. I just gave him a big hug, and I'm like, bro, I'm so fucking mad at you. He's like, what happened? I'm like, let me fucking tell you, let's walk. And I like fucking spilled everything out to him. Like, bro, I've been feeling so bad all day today. I literally was so pissed that you didn't text me or call me or anything. thing and you're like hanging out in San Diego and you like missed my birthday. You canceled on me like 3 times. Like, what the fuck is up with you, bro? You're a fucking piece of shit friend. Fuck you. But I was like telling him this because I had to tell him how I felt, you know? And after I told him all that, you know, he was like, bro, I'm sorry you feel that way, but like it was never intentional. Like life just keeps getting in the way, and you know you have to deal with your life first before you can do other things. And I was like, I don't really buy it. Like I hear you, but I don't really get that, bro. Like fuck you. Like make effort, you know. And he's like, I didn't hit you up because I didn't know if I'd be able to stay today. I didn't have this plan like this, and I didn't want to cancel on you again. And so I didn't hit you up until the last minute where I thought maybe you could work out. And then I hit you up, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. And we had just kind of like started talking a bit more and just like kind of catching up. And I just want to kind of say that this is really a miracle because I had asked earlier in the day for the universe to heal me because I was hurting and to send me guidance and to show me the way and like to like if this was meant to be a relationship that I was supposed to keep, like mend it and show me the path. And if it was something that I was meant to let go of, then like show me the path to let go and like get it out of my life in a clean and you know, easy way so I don't have to continue to suffer. But the reality is it just was all made up in my head. And that's kind of the whole story. The other part of the story I didn't tell you, bro, this morning yesterday morning when I had found this out and I was fuming and shit, I was driving somewhere and I was getting ready to park my car and I fucking ran up on the curb and dented my bumper because I guess I was ruminating in my head and I was angry. So like little shit like that, like just point being, you could be ruminating and like all in your thought land and just being like crazy in your own head, but it still has real life suffering and real life consequences. And that's the whole fucking point of it all, is that like, you know, there is a problem when you are super attached and you can't let go of things. It causes suffering in your real world life, you know? And after just hanging out with him and just like realizing, you know, it was all just bullshit in my head, but it felt real to me, you know? So it was important for me to clear this air and to like do it in person and not like on a FaceTime or on a fucking text because it's not the same. Like I missed the human that I connected with. It was such a moment, bro. Like, I don't know. Like it just felt like, you know, like I just kept thanking God. I'm like, thank you for showing me that lesson. And of course, in the back end, there was a lot of things. That's me like consulting with Mimi. I was even emailing my spiritual friend, Suzanne, and she's been like emailing me back and forth about all this. Like, yo, how I felt so betrayed by my friend in the beginning. And, you know, one of the basically the biggest lessons like from all of this was like, I have to learn how to carry all of my friends and my family with an open hand. And what that really means is that if they choose to move away from me, it's for the best. And if they choose to stay, then it's for the best. But regardless, I keep them in my heart. But I do have to release my attachment to individuals that are in my life that I love, because otherwise it causes a ton of suffering. And this is by no means easy to do. So which is why I was like surrendering to the universe, praying to God, asking for help. Be like, how the fuck am I going to do this, bro? This is like one of my oldest friends, somebody that I love so much. We're like homies, bro. We've been in the fucking dirt, been in the fucking trenches together, right? Like from where we were to where we both are right now, we're doing incredibly well. Obviously, he's doing significantly more financially better, but that doesn't mean anything that we're not like on the same side. Like I jokingly said to him, bro, how does it feel on the other side? And he's like, what do you mean the other side, bitch? We're on the same fucking side. And he's right. Like I was joking around with him, you know, and like we just got to like talking about it. And it's like it's still such a real connection, such a real friendship. And also a testament to like how over the years we grow apart and why like staying connected and making time for each other is so important. You know, now I don't feel like that at all. Like all of that bullshit, all that like stuff in my head is gone. Like I don't think like that anymore about him. I know that we're still bonded, like close in each other's hearts and in our lives. We may not see each other as regularly, but it doesn't mean that that's how he feels. Like now I know how he feels, and now he knows how I felt. You know, being fully in love with what I'm doing and like giving a lot of love to people that I care about, but again, not being attached. Like that's the real lesson, is like not being so possessive and not letting my ego feel like, what the fuck, like I'm doing all this and you're not reciprocating, you know, like that's all the ego, right? And that's what like kind of got in the mix of it all. He's just being real about it. Like, yeah, bro, life continues to get in the way and I'm sorry about that, but it is what it is. And, you know, I haven't lost my love for you. And it's true. Like we still talk. He responds to me, you know, more so in the last couple of years than before that, because when he was really in the trenches, really, really trying to grind and make it. Yeah, there were a lot of times when I hadn't talked to him or seen him for years in a row. You know, even now I think I'm seeing him after a couple of years, especially during COVID. We didn't really see each other much. So it just feels like, I don't know, I just feel rejuvenated with that connection once again. And I think the lesson is like when I talk about like learning to let go of your attachments to whether it's to people or to things, a lot of times the reality of that is it's not as easy as it sounds. It's actually very, very difficult. And And one of the ways to let go of it, which I have seen the lesson that I've learned in this whole journey with my best friend and I'm like seeing it all play out, is I had to surrender it and recognize that I don't have the power to let go on my own. Like I don't know how to do it myself. I don't have the power to do it myself. So I surrendered and asked for help, asked from the universe, asked from God to help me in this. And fucking it got delivered, bro. Like in lightning speed, like quick, like within hours. Like I felt like yesterday was such a transformative day in terms of energies and like realigning with everything. And it just puts me back into just like, it was almost like like when you ask for a miracle and you're like waiting to see if the universe delivers. That's kind of like the fucked up way to do it. But in this case, like I had asked and I had surrendered, and I also didn't have expectation of it being resolved anytime soon. And that is the key, is when I didn't have the expectation, just happened, and of course, like the whole time I was pissed at my friend and I saw him and I melted, but I still let him know how I felt. I never blamed him for it. I never said it is your fault, motherfucker, like I'm still mad at you. It was more like, bro, I gotta just get this off my chest because it's how I feel, and I know it's not your fault, it's how I feel, but I have to tell you that based on how we have a relationship, that's how it made me feel. I felt like we were falling apart, and I felt like you weren't doing enough to like show me you gave a shit. And of course, from his side, that wasn't true. He was so caught up in doing what he's doing. He's so busy with his life. He's not sitting there worrying about, oh, bro, how does Abhinav feel today? You know what I mean? Obviously, we're texting and like sending each other memes. So like from his perspective, it's like, yeah, we're talking, like things are okay. But he doesn't know the deep inside that I was actually hurting. If it had turned out the way I thought, and he was genuinely like not gonna reach out like he did, it would have been done for me at that moment in time. Like I would have been like, okay, that was it. Today is the day I lost my friend. It would have been terrible. But at the same time, I would have had to move on. And that would have been a lesson in itself. It was one of those things that was really meant and designed for me to see and reaffirm that, yeah, bro, like you're in the right place. Like be where you are. This all good. Your life's going well. You have great people that love you, that care about you. So what if they're not in your immediate like vicinity physically? They're still with you. They care about you. And the universe ultimately is what cares about you. That's bringing all these people around, all these characters in your life. It's all a play of consciousness, accepting of the fact that like you don't control all of it, and it's okay to surrender and ask for help, and that's how really you get what you really need in the moment you ask for it. I think the key is not to be resentful. It's hard, like as I'm saying this, I was very pissed, right? So the key is not to be resentful for the people that leave your life maybe unexpectedly or not in the way that you thought and you were once close to them. I think the key is to still give them a lot of love and be thankful for getting whatever you shared with them in your life together. Like that in itself is sort of like it's almost like, I really do believe that the universe will not give you more until you're very much content and grateful with what you have. Like it's not going to give you more, because when you say you're grateful for something, you're in a way like saying like, really thank you for everything that you've given me. And I appreciate this like tremendously. I'm very happy with this. And I love this. And to that person, more is given. I think that's one of it's probably the Bible or something, right? Actually, if you're telling me that your life is going to shit, actually I had a DM yesterday where some kid was like, he's been following me for a year or whatever, and I check up on these people every once in a while, like, hey, how's it going? Many of them came to me because they struggled with a weed problem, right? And I'm just like hearing back from what they're saying. Oh, bro, I still can't get rid of my addiction to the vapes. Like I just don't know how to put them down. I tried, it just doesn't work. What should I do? I'm like, you should look for help. And it's like, I don't know who to look for help from. I can't burn my family with this. I can talk to you, but what should I do? I'm like, why don't you ask God? I don't know why people just think that automatically that's not the answer, right? What thinks that's not the answer? It's your fucking ego, because you think you run the show. You think you know it all. It's a humbling act to be like, I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to fix myself. So if you can humble yourself and say like, I need help. I need your help, God. Like reach out to something higher than yourself, like something bigger than yourself, whatever that means to you. Yeah, I think that's it. Mimi just said it really well. It's like, I think when things are going really bad, you can't really tell yourself that it's not bad. You actually have to do the opposite. You actually say, yo, shit sucks right now, bro. It's so bad and I need help. Like, I can't fix this. I don't know what to do. And that's when the universe can step in and actually help you. That's when God can come into the picture and help you, in a sense. Like, that's where your higher connection, your higher power will come in and step through and work for you. It's almost like you do have to recognize that it sucks, that I'm helpless, that I don't know what I'm doing, that I suck at this. I need your help. That this is painful. This is beyond my capacity to handle right now. I can't do this. And fully let it go there. That is the moment of letting it go. Like, I can't do this anymore. I need your help. It's all a drama, right? It's all a drama. It's all push and pull part of life. And if you can laugh at it, that is actually probably the most spiritual thing to do, you know, laugh at the play, because it's all going to change and it's all a play. It's all continuously moving around. Things will change. Like, and if you can laugh at the shit that sucks, that's phenomenal. That's huge, bro. Part of it is like you could be laughing from the ego perspective and like just being like, haha, like I'm laughing in your face, like this is that, or it's laughing like being aware that, oh, this is actually out of my control, so I'm all worked up, I might as well just laugh it out. So there's a difference, subtle difference between the two, because one could be very ego driven, the other one could be very like eye opening and like expansive laughter. Yeah, like you're like, oh, this is all a joke. Like, oh, I hit my car yesterday while I was parking. I got pissed at my best friend because he's a piece of shit, I thought. Oh, I had this happen and that happened. It's all a joke. Look at how funny. It all got resolved within a matter of hours. And now I'm like sitting on the other side just like laughing at it all. Like what a joke that whole thing was. But also like being so grateful for that whole process, like how it played out. Because I wouldn't be sitting here so relieved if it didn't happen.